Hi, I'm Aeriel Wauhob. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator here at the MaST Center Aquarium of Highline College, and today we're going to go explore Redondo Beach of Des Moines, Washington. My biggest thing that I want to find on the beach today is an octopus. We are known for our red octopus, which get about 12 inches at their biggest, and so they'll actually come into the intertidal zone to hunt, and they'll hide under rocks during low tide. But also right now is the season to find midshipmen, and the males stay on the beach with the eggs under the rocks. So if you gently flip over the rocks, you can see the eggs developing on the rock, but then you'll hear the croaking of the dad yelling at you to put the roof back on the house. So those are kind of my two big things that I want to see today. But I would also be super excited to see any moon snails, moon snail casings. Shore crabs are also super cool to see right now. And then we have lots of fish and sea stars that will cling to the rocks too. So I'm okay with anything, but red octopus and midshipmen are kind of the coolest things you can see here. I have a few top tips for tide pooling. And the first one would be to tread lightly. You can see here we've got a lot of stuff on the beach. Could be animals hiding on the algae or under the algae. And you're stepping lightly because there could be things in the sand below your feet. Tip number 2 is to investigate gently. When we're out here in the intertidal zone, there's lots of animals that do live up here and not just in the water. So if we're flipping over rocks to look at them, we need to do that gently. Or if we decide to pick anything up or touch it, that we're doing so gently so that those animals don't become hurt or we don't hurt ourselves. Tip number 3 is discover it, then leave it behind. On this beach, there are a ton of beautiful shells out there, or even rocks that you might want to take and add to your collection. However, these rocks can be homes for animals to live underneath them or on them. We've got animals that are living on it like barnacles, but also as this breaks down, it adds to the nutrients in the water for other animals to build a strong shell. And then some animals can't build their own shell, so they have to borrow it from another animal. So you could be taking a home away from an animal. So educate yourself and others. Every beach has its own set of rules and regulations. Like here at Redondo Beach, we're not allowed to harvest our seaweeds or our algae. We also can't harvest our clams here either. So make sure when you're going to the beach, you know exactly what you can and cannot do. And most beaches, you have to keep your dog on a leash. Stay aware of the tide at all times. Currently, our tide is all the way out. You can check this by using tide charts or tide apps that tell you when the tide is going out and you can safely walk on the beach, but also know when the tide is going to come back in so that you have an exit route off of your beach. We are currently at Redondo Beach at a low tide. Today, I believe it's supposed to be a negative 3.4. So negative tides are the good time to come to the beach because that means that water is extremely far out. All of these that I'm looking at are called ochre stars. They come in blue and purples around here, but when they're young, they'll look like this orange and purple patchy pattern. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. There might be more under them. Back here, you'll see it's called a madreporite, which is this little orange spot. That is their water valve. So when the water is on them, they'll pull that water into their body, and they have a hydrovascular system. So instead of using blood to pump their muscles, they're using water to pump their muscles. And so that will bring water in and out. But right now, with no water, they're just holding all that water inside them. Chiton, chitons. And so they have armored plates on their back here, and they're a snail. And these armored plates are individual plates, so they can roll up into a ball if they're threatened. Kind of like a roly-poly or a pill bug. This is called a moon snail collar or a moon snail egg casing. And so the moon snails have that really cool, nice round spiral shell. And what they do is they create a layer of mucus in the sand. That sand will glue together. Think it's somebody's like plunger or a piece of tire. But actually, this is about 500,000 babies. Eventually, the babies will mature and they'll hatch out, basically eat their way out of the sand. Oh, we've got a cucumber. They look very scary and spiky. However, that's just a defense mechanism for them. They are echinoderms, which means spiky skin, but their spikes feel kind of like jello. And they're also a bright red as kind of a warning of saying, hey, I'm poisonous, don't eat me. However, they're not poisonous. They're, again, faking their defense. You can see it starting to kind of lose its shape and droop. Yeah, So in the wild, if you're wanting to eat something, you are wanting to eat something that doesn't just die, because that might mean it's sick and you might become sick. So it's pretending to be dead right now. It doesn't want me to eat it. And so you can see that it's kind of like loosening all of its muscles, really relaxing. This doesn't look appetizing. But as soon as you put it back into the water, it will start pulling in that water into its body, and you can see already it's starting to reform. So this right here is a female. She's got eggs on her. I'm gonna flip her over. Hi, buddy. So you can see how her tail flap sticks all the way out. That's because she's got all of those babies.
Doesn't look old enough to have babies.
Yeah, so this is a full-grown adult.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, so most people would think this is an eel, but this is what we call a blinny, which is a long, slender fish that has pectoral fins that they use for swimming. So not an eel, but a fish, and you'll find these underneath rocks because they hide in the water and out of the sun. He's got this ridge of little prickles on the back that act like little barbs. Octo. So they'll come into the intertidal zone and hunt. Intertidal zone means in between. They're looking for fish and crabs, whatever they can get their hands on. I'm just gonna release you back in. You ready? You're gonna have to get out of my bucket though, bud. So this is a moon snail. Moon snail shell on the outside. They actually start off super tiny. So that's the original shell when it was born, right there. And then this is the operculum. This is their trap door. So if they get scared, which I scared it by digging it out of the sand, it'll squeeze all of that water out till it fits back inside here, shuts the door, and then when it feels safe again, it'll open it back up and then spread out. Size of a dinner plate. So yeah, so that's like 1 year of growth. Yep. So you can count the little spirals. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 13. So that was the day at Redondo Beach tide pooling. It was a -3 tide. So definitely look at your tide charts before you hit the beach, because the negative tide, the better the animals that you'll see. And then definitely come see us at the MaST Center Aquarium. We're open on the weekends, and you can see some of the animals that you might have missed on the beach inside the aquarium. We've got 2 touch tanks, octopus, and you could have all day long looking and interacting with those animals.